Welcome back to the NeuroVerse. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about the diagnostic process and what I did going from self-evaluation to self-diagnosis to being clinically diagnosed with ADHD and autism. It might come as a surprise to people, it might not. If you do or don't know me, I'm not sure other people's thoughts on it really. But I just wanted to say, if you do want to get diagnosed, I highly recommend it because it'll give you, most importantly, a sense of clarity, and depending on the situation and the people you're around, they may care as well, they might not, I don't know. I'll just kind of give a little spiel about how everything went. So the first appointment was supposed to be on the telehealth app or website, but I couldn't hear my psychologist, so we ended up just doing a phone call for my first appointment. The first appointment was just my psychologist talking to me about how I was growing up and just slightly significant information, but just kind of getting to know me a little bit, kind of like an intake appointment. My mother was also there with me for the first appointment for the phone call, so my psychologist was fortunately able to kind of get a view on things from my mom's point of view and ask her questions as well. My mother was always kind of skeptical about the situation, especially at first, but luckily she agreed to, just be my second person witness, I guess, to my behaviors or whatnot, even though, she didn't really agree with me at first about me being on the spectrum, a little bit in denial, but I mean, a lot of people are if you first tell them, especially a guardian or a parent. They might be a little bit confused, what are you talking about? If they see you as being normal or whatnot. So yeah, the first appointment, my mother and I just kind of filled in my psychologist why I'm wanting to be evaluated and all that stuff. So that one, I say, it went pretty well. It went very quickly, it felt like, because I believe it was only an hour or something. I'm not sure if I already said that. But then the second appointment was in person at her office. So my mother came with me to that as well. She actually drove me down there, bless her soul. Yeah, that appointment was about 3 hours long. It was about an hour away from my home. Wasn't too bad. I was pretty anxious and nervous for some of the appointment, especially the beginning. This just gave my psychologist the opportunity to kind of observe my behaviors in person, how I interacted, that type of thing. And it gave her the opportunity to test me with more professional tests that they have in the office. Yeah, we went over a lot of things, did a lot of testing, stuff like that. And then my final appointment, which was today, it was basically her talking about the results and explaining everything to me and of course my mom. This one, fortunately, the telehealth app or website worked this time, and it does have some issues with cutting in and out, and the other person, my psychologist, kind of sounded like she was underwater some of the times, so me and my mom had to stop her quite a lot and ask her to re-explain things. But for the most part, we got all the information we needed for clarity, which today on September 14th of 2022, she diagnosed me with level 1 autism, which was formerly known as Asperger's syndrome, but now everything is under the umbrella of autism spectrum disorder. So level 1 autism, and then she also diagnosed me with ADHD, which is a little bit more surprising to me, just only for the sole reason that I was doing most of my research and was spending a lot of time doing research on autism, and I started suspecting that I was on the spectrum at the beginning of 2022, and just a few months before I got evaluated, that's when I started realizing, like, holy crap, ADHD, this one is like really resonating me with, this one is also really resonating with me, like the symptoms and characteristics and stuff like that. And it's like my brain couldn't comprehend that I might have both of them. But just in case, I searched for a psychologist that specialized in both, and what do you know? It's both of them. So no wonder I struggle the way I do with how conflicting my brain is, because it literally contradicts itself in almost every single way. So yeah, I really want this video to be faster than my other ones because I don't want to bore people. So I just realized how long this video is becoming. I was going to explain how I went from a self-evaluation / self-diagnosis to a clinical diagnosis, but since it's getting pretty lengthy already, I'll make a part 2. That way people, if they don't want to hear about how I went from one to the other, and also I'm going to include things to consider before getting a diagnosis. So if you want to see that video, that'll be part 2 of this one. So stick around if you want to, head out if you don't. See you guys later.